but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. These stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable, definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch the goat sleeves now. They don't slip, they don't slide. Nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time, and these are featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes end.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around the shin.
No distractions, no readjusting, just focus on the match. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material is soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material is soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. The first thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint, or slide without adjusting them. You feel secure and locked in. My first impressions of the GOATS guards, honestly, super light and super clean. Straight away, you can tell they're built to move with you. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. These guards don't move. The first thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint, or slide without adjusting them. You feel secure and locked in. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. My first impressions of the GOATS guards, honestly, super light and super clean. Straight away, you can tell they're built to move with you. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. These grips actually help you push off. It's like every bit of power goes straight to the ground. No slip, no wasted energy. You feel sharper, quicker, and more connected. It's a proper level up. I can't believe my GOATS pack has arrived. My first impression of the GOATS grips, honestly, clean design and a premium feel. Straight out of the pack, you can tell they're built different. Soft stretch and solid grip panels. They just feel like performance gear, not regular socks. These grips actually help you push off. These grips actually help you push off. It's like every bit of power goes straight to the ground. No slip, no wasted energy. You feel sharper, quicker, and more connected. It's a proper level up. Straight out of the pack, you can tell they're built different. I can't believe my Goats pack has arrived. My first impression of the Goats grips, honestly, clean design and a premium feel. Straight out of the pack, you can tell they're built different. Soft stretch and solid grip panels. They just feel like performance gear, not regular socks. These grips actually help you push off.
Hi everyone, happy Saturday here in Brisbane in Australia. If you're in the UK, Europe or the USA, happy Friday night. A big thank you for joining us again as ever. So we've got a couple of questions already dropped in. I did put a post into school early this morning. So we're going to get to those questions. We've got a great one from Xavier that we're going to answer as well today. We are going to have a little look inside the mental strength training protocol as well. We're going to pull out one of them slides this morning. And then also I want everyone, if you're inside YouTube, you got any questions whatsoever, please drop them in, and we cannot wait to answer the questions for you and help you along your journey. So without further ado, guys, I will jump in, and the first thing we want to cover off, and this is a pretty special one, and I am going to cover this off inside our school platform. So if you just bear with me while I just load this up. Okay, now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be running a sort of a mega competition and a mega giveaway. We're going to get you guys to help us keep pushing in our numbers as we try and get to being the #1 platform in sports, but also the #1 platform across the whole of school. So at the moment, I think I told you guys on the overall, on the sports leaderboards, we're currently in 6th place at the moment, which is phenomenal. But to get past these guys, we've got to beat them on the overall leaderboard. So currently in 5th place is Skate Life. If we have a look at the overall leaderboard, you will see that Skate Life are roughly, I think when we last looked, are like 65. So if we have a little look, if we can find them on here. So Skate Life is currently in number 64. So to get to number 4 overall, to get to number 5 overall in sports, we need to get past this ranking on the overall, which is 64. So at the moment, if we have a little look, we were in 90 something, but now we're all the way up to 87. You can help us to knock Skate Life off and to get into number 5 on sports overall by this giveaway. And this is for everyone to follow and do, and you're going to benefit hugely from this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you back in. Now, if we have a little look at the moment, if we go into my settings and go profile, you'll see my activity board, and you can see since the 29th of November, I've logged more than 15 activities a day, which gives you that solid green. If you get that grey, that means it's very low. If it's slightly green, it's only a couple, darker green. But one of the big things that we really want to improve on is getting more of these activities. So when you're on school yourself, if you're in the home page here, if you click your little icon and click profile, you'll see your activity log here. Now this is what we're looking to do. You can see if you scan over, it tells you how many activities and what the date was. So on Christmas Day, when everyone else is having a rest, I logged 180 activities. Now what we're going to do is, guys, if you can log 100 activities or more over today and for the rest of January. So the competition starts today, but this is for everyone. So from the 24th of January all the way through till next Saturday, the 31st, if you can put a clean streak, so that's 7 solid greens, but every green block has got to have 100 activities or more, we are going to give you $100 voucher for goats. So it's 100 activities a day for 7 days, and we're going to give you a $100 goats voucher. So how can you log activities? So I'm going to teach you. At the moment for today, I'm on 0. Okay, I'm going to come into the community, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at some of the posts that's been dropped in, and let's just see if we can get in. And we're in the community, and you can see this little blue comment means something new's going on. So what you can do is you can actually look for any of the grayed out ones like this one. So if I click this, there's one, and you literally just have got to go through and like. Now also, what really boosts you with the points as well is making a comment. I can see Ricky's making a comment as we speak. So what's the best piece of feedback a coach has ever given you? Okay, so I don't think I've commented on this one yet, so I could put a comment. Oh no, I have actually. Take one step, one day at a time, and chunk everything into bite-sized pieces, and everything can be built from one block, one day at a time. Okay, so that's a great one there. So that one's done. I might drop in here, and then again, I'm having a look to say, okay, I'm gonna like that one, and then I'm gonna come back out, and then Khaleesi's dropped in her daily planner. So again, we can like all of these, and every time you like these, guys, it's giving you a point. Now, if you put your own community post together and people start replying on it and giving you answers, you're going to get a lot of bonus points, and it doesn't take a lot to get to 100 activities a day. It literally takes you 10 minutes. So I'll just show you what I'm currently sat at now. So if I go back to profile, my little block has now gone solid green, and I've done 18 activities. So you could see how quick I done those 18 activities. So what we're looking for, guys, is we're looking for you to log or drop a message, a question, a challenge in the community. Like everyone's posts, and also communicate on everyone's post by replying and giving feedback. If you can do 100 activities a day or more for 7 days in a streak starting today, okay, then that means you'll get a $100 gift voucher for GOATs next Saturday. How easy is that? All you've got to do is log 100 activities a day, and it starts from today. So whilst I'm on the call today and you're sitting and listening, you could be on your school, on your phone, just liking and commenting on the posts. It's going to help us push up in the rankings. And remember, guys, if we can make the top 5 in sports and the top 5 overall, it's going to open up a plethora of support for us, for the platform, which means it's going to help us to make more opportunities and more offers for the players on here. So that's the first one. And I'm going to drop that as a post a little bit later on today. Next thing I'm going to do is, again, guys, I want you to drop all of your questions into the community and within inside YouTube. So as long as you've subscribed, you are able to drop those questions in. Now, we are going to have a little look at some of today's questions. So we did drop in this morning, a couple of hours ago. Okay, so we're going live today. So see, I'm liking as we go along, getting some extra tasks and activities logged. Okay, so Xavier wanted to know if there was advantages in using different formations, i.e. 4-4-3, etc. And then Khaleesi's dropped one in. How do you position yourself to always be a passing option under pressure? Okay, so 2 very broad questions, and I'm going to help us answer them. And what I'm going to do is, very, very quickly, I'm going to connect up my board, and we're going to have a little look and see if we can go into the first question from Xavier. And we'll spend a fair bit of time on this one, because this is an interesting one, and it's always good just to cover it off, just to see where we're at. So just bear with me, and I'll get connected up, and then we'll get to our first question from Xavier. Now again, whilst you're waiting for things like this whiteboard to be connected up, you're waiting for me, it's always a great opportunity for you to maybe drop a community post in, like some of the different comments, and maybe hit a few replies whilst you're waiting for me. Whenever I go to a break on these live, so we're just going to go in here, and we're just going to start having a little look at, is there any advantages into using 4-4-3 or certain tactics of formations. Okay, so with formations, it's always a tricky one. There's a couple of things you need to think about. We need to think about first, Xavier, is what age group are we actually talking about? And then we've got to then work it from there. So let's just split it into two areas to help answer this as best as we can. Let's say adults or open age for both men's and women. Okay, so that's area 1. And then area 2 would be youth. Now, I'm thinking that Xavier would be thinking more in the youth level because that's the age group he's in. But I'm gonna answer both of them for you. Now, if you're a coach or a volunteer coach, or you're thinking of getting involved in senior or open or men's, women's football or soccer coaching, my advice to you would be, if we're looking at number 1, adults and open, and you're thinking about formations, there's a couple of different ways to look at it, okay? Now, there's a big problem is that a lot of coaches try and push square pegs into round holes, okay? And what I mean by that is, if we've got a round hole here, and I've got this square peg, and I'm trying to push it into this round hole, it's not going to fit. And it's exactly the same premise with players in your squad. So before you even think about formations like 4-3-3, 4-4-2, 2 banks of 4 flat and 2 attackers side by side, we're going to play 4-4-2 with an inverted diamond system. So there's different things we can look at, but we need to think about, and we should always be looking at, what players do you have? Now, there's a reason why this is important, because if we play, as an example, goalkeeper, a back 4, so we're going to imagine this is a standard 4-4-2. And I'm just showing you this formation just to give you an idea of what it would set up like, okay? Now, this might be a good option in your squad if you've only got, so if we think about the left side of the pitch, and I want you to be player focused, you need to look at what type of players you've got first. Now, if you know for a fact on your left side, okay, you've only got probably 3 to 4 left-sided players, then you need a left back, there's got to be a left footer. You need a left midfield, there's ideally got to be a left footer. And really ideally, in an ideal world, you expect your centre back who plays on the left to be a lefty as well. So all of a sudden, you're now struggling. You've only got 3 to 4 left footer players in your squad. Now, if you're struggling and you've got only 2 to 3 left-sided players or left footers, you probably are forced to play in the 4-4-2, because this is the only system and formation that's going to allow you to fit in that many players on that left side, and it leaves you with problems. Now, if you're blessed, and this is where being blessed sometimes can be a problem, if you're blessed and you have got 5 or 6 left-footed players, you need to play a formation that's going to allow you to fit more left-footed players in. Okay, so let's say we're playing a 4 at the back, and then we'll have a holding mid, 2 attacking mids, and then we've got our left side, our central and right side attacking players. All of a sudden, in this formation, ideally, we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 really strong left-sided and left-footed players. If you're blessed with 4 or more left-sided players, this is where the 4-3-3 system is going to be way more beneficial to you. So remember, this is talking about at an adult's level. But also with formations as well, it always comes up, Xavier, against who you're playing against, okay? And we've got to think about things like overloading the midfield. Now, if we're playing this 4-3-3 and we've got 3 midfielders in here, if I ever come up against a team who plays this system, I would change my formation. And my teams, when I've coached in the past, are able to adapt and transition to about 4 different formations from one single word, and they all know the roles and how to do it. Now, if we're talking about a team with 3 in the midfield like this, even if they've got it the other way round, so even if they've got 2 holding and sitting and 1 high, it's still 3 in the middle. I would be tempted to play this formation. It's about overrunning the opposition always, and how you can outdo the opposition. And the best way to combat a 4-3-3, and it's really easy to do, is go 4-4-2, but we've got our goalkeeper, left back, centre backs, right back, holding mid, left mid, right mid, top of the mid. And then we've got our strikers here. Now what I've done here is I'm playing, as you can see, is a diamond. And if we're playing in a diamond, we've actually got 4 in here. We're actually going to outnumber that midfield 3 by 1 player. So all of a sudden we've got a numerical advantage in the middle of the park. And the idea is we're looking to utilise having that extra man in there, because games are won and lost in the middle of the park. We're looking now for these guys here, or these girls here, your right backs or left backs. They've got to be mobile. And what I mean by mobile is they've got to be fit and fast. Now, for me as a coach, when I'm playing a 4-4-2 with a diamond to combat the 4-3-3, this only works if this player and this player is mobile. Now, what does mobile mean? Fit and fast. How do we know if they're fit and fast? Well, you guys are all privy to it. You do it, or you should be doing it 3 times a week, is doing your beep test. All right? So first things first, this side of play, we obviously want a lefty. We want a righty. Okay? We've got them in our squad. Now I want to test, out of all my left footers and all my right footers, who's the fittest? Who can go the longest on a beep test? All right? We now know that, let's make up a name. Let's say Xavier is the best on a beep test, and we've got Johnny is the best right-footed on our beep test. Now the next thing we do is we would work out a speed test over 10 meters, 20 meters, and 50 meters. And you won't be surprised to find out that normally 99% of the time, Xavier and Johnny will also be the fastest over 10, 20, and 50 meters. And then you can set up a series of tests to test them, and then you work that out. So when you're playing that 4-4-2, you need those 2 players to be fast, mobile, fit and fast, and agile to get up and down the line. One to transition to attack, but one to transition to come back in and defend. Okay? So there's a difference within the adults and with the senior players, and it all comes down to what players you've got to your exposure and the system that you play. You need to really think about what is their role in the team. Now, these guys in the middle of the park and the 4 in the middle don't now necessarily need to be the best on the beep test and the fittest, okay? These are more important, and we're looking for a couple of things with these key roles. What would we look for these guys in the diamonds? We're looking for them to have the ability to maintain possession. And how do we know which players to put in these positions? Well, you've just said it, and I can hear some of you shouting it out at the screen. On your objectives, okay, we have distribution and world class, okay? I would be looking for this player to have world class. I'll just get rid of these X's so we've got a bit of room. I'd look for this player to have world class on objectives and distribution or short distribution. These 3 players are more focused on this one. Okay, pass completion and high distribution. So when we look at the stats of our teams and we really dig into the numbers, we've now discovered that these 4 players are the highest performing in pass completion. So when we go out to our school platform, if we have a little look at classroom and we go to our objectives, so if we go into our football objectives, and if we move in a little bit, we're looking for this one, distribution and short passing. Now, if they're the highest in here, we don't need to worry about scanning, and just trust me on this, because the players that are the best at scanning are the best at distribution and short passing. So hopefully that helps you understand a little bit about why we do objectives. So a lot of people throw a lot of stuff at me over the years going, these objectives are rubbish, they don't really mean anything, it's not going to make a player. But guys, you know more than anyone, you can trust in me on this. I've worked in it for 25 years on one of football's biggest projects, and there's a reason why we get you to do scanning, distribution, movement, securing the ball, world-class pass. It's all done for this reason. It's building you up with the skills, so when you get to this level and you're in here, you've got the skills built up. So hopefully your coach assesses you as a senior player and goes, yeah, okay, I know exactly what I'm looking for. So to finish off on the adult side, Xavier, and thank you for this question, because it is a bit of a rabbit hole, and I could spend hours teaching you and educating you on this type of stuff. But one of the big things I'd like to finish on, and I would recommend anyone does this, if you ever become a coach, this is the most important part. Don't ever try to put square pegs in round holes. And what I mean by that is look at what players you have first. Then decide on the formation that you think is going to be best to your strength. But also, game by game, you want to beat teams, and sometimes you mightn't have the strongest squad in your league or table or ladder, wherever you are in the world, whatever you call it. In England, we call it a league table. In Australia, you just call it ladders. Okay, wherever you are, whatever division you're in, you need to look at and be honest that we're not the strongest team and we haven't got the best players, but we can still win games against these bigger clubs because we can tactically beat them. And where do we tactically beat other clubs? Is by playing our players in the right positions. So that will give you a little bit of an explainer on how you choose players to go in certain positions. And it's going to help you think, Xavier, and all the players on the platform, what are my strengths at the moment? And your strengths might be world-class passing, but also you might be struggling a little bit with scanning and short distribution. So all of a sudden, you would definitely probably rule yourself out from playing in the middle of the park. If you've got a great world-class pass and you're quite fit, but your short distribution and scanning's not right, you'd actually be more suited in a fullback role for now. Or this is actually identifying one of your weaknesses, and this allows you to then fix these weaknesses as we go through. So hopefully, if you like that one, guys, drop it in the comments in YouTube. Tell me what you thought. Xavier, we are going to come back to the next part of that question, which is the youth side of it. And I'm going to touch on that for about 10 minutes. But before we do that, we are going to drop back into the live screen. I'm just going to allow everyone to go away for a quick minute. And whilst you're back waiting for me, guys, if I'm not on screen, start liking, start adding some posts into school, and start getting up to your 100 activities. Also, drop it in the comments in YouTube what you thought about that little section. Did you learn something? What was your favourite part? I'll be back with you guys in just over 1 minute.
Don't punch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Goats grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
These These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. These stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable, definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch the goat sleeves now. They don't slip, they don't slide. Nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time, and these are featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes end.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around your shin.
No distractions, no readjusting, just focus on the match. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material's soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material's soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance.
Hi everyone, we're back for the second part of Xavier's question. So we've just covered off a little bit about formations, 4-3-3, and what's the best formation. But we covered it off in two sections. The first section was being a senior player, open men's or women's, and as a coach, the things that coaches need to think about. But also, we spoke about not putting square pegs into round holes, they don't fit, and about identifying the squad of players that you've actually got in front of you. Now, when we come to a youth setup, it's completely different, and I'm going to show you why, and I'm going to explain why. So let me just move over this way, and I'm just going to flick us around really quick. So when we are looking at youth setup with informations, this is where it is slightly different. Now, I'm going to drop a question into YouTube. The first one to answer the right one, okay, will win a $25 voucher for GOATS. Now, when we're thinking about formations for youth, I want you to tell me why it is different and what is the focus of a youth player. So what is the best way to think about formations? If you get the answer right or pretty close and you're the first one in, you'll win a $25 voucher for GOATS. So all you need to do is tell me what it is we need to focus on for youth players and why. All right, and I'm going to have a little look at the comments in a moment and see if anyone gets it right. Now, before we do that, I will say that with the youth, you need to be thinking along the lines of what are we trying to do? What's the aim with a youth player? And I'm going to give you the clue. Is it around like winning games, scoring goals, or is there something else we should be focusing on? So drop the answers into YouTube for me. I'm going to give you another 30 seconds, and then I'm going to have a little look at YouTube myself, and I'm going to see if anyone's got the answer right, and you're going to get a $25 voucher. So why would we think about it differently with a youth player versus a senior? And what should be our main focus when we're thinking about formations for a youth team player? What formation should we be playing? So that's along the lines is what I'm looking for. Let's see if anyone's got it in. All right. The best thing to think about is for them to be adaptable to play in multiple positions. That was from Jake Watson Roddy. Focusing on the player, what they are capable of doing. You want to focus on development. There we go. Jake Watson Roddy. You are a winner of a $25 GOATS voucher. So, if we're going to think about Jake Watson Roddy, well done, my friend. $25 is coming your way. If you want to think about youth players, it should always be development focused. And remember, we've spoke about this. We want to be, if we're development focused, we're always looking for these couple of things. Okay? So if we're solely thinking about developments, we want to be focused on processes. And we don't want to be focused on outcome. So if we always follow, these are the 2 rules of youth football or youth soccer. Let's call it soccer today. Okay? If we focus on processes and don't focus on outcomes, you can never, ever, ever go wrong. Okay? So, if we're going to put our team this week, and I'll give you an example of what we've done at the Premier League level. So when I was at Leicester City, we were a Category 1 academy under the Premier League, which meant we're the highest level academy you can be. At the time, there was only about 15 or 16 Cat 1 clubs, okay? So some of the other clubs that we had in there that were Cat 1 were Liverpool, Manchester City, Everton, Manchester United, Chelsea. Arsenal weren't a Cat 1 club at this time because they refused to join the reforms, but they did eventually about a year and a half later, thankfully. But when we worked with these players, we'd done it in what we called mesocycles. So if we think about mesocycles, and I'm not going to tell you what that is, but what I'm going to do is, to make it a bit of fun, there's a $25 voucher up for grabs. If someone can explain to me in YouTube in the chat, what's a mesocycle? Okay. Now, I'm not going to give the answer away, but I'm wanting someone to drop it in. So the first person to drop it in and explain to me what a mesocycle is, or even more importantly, what is the duration of a mesocycle? Okay. So when we used to break it down, what we would do is we go, okay, here are our formations that we want to play this year, that we want to teach the players. So 4-3-3 with 1 holding mid. 4-3-3 with 2 holding mids. We want to play 4-4-2 normal, which means just flat across the park. We want to go 4-4-2 with a diamond. We want to go 4-2-3-1 normal. And then we want to go 4-2-3-1 with extra wide attacking players. And what I mean by that is, it's these guys in the free here. But again, if you think about, this is development over actually trying to get like outcomes, it's all process focused. So there is still a few other formations in there, but I'll be honest, like we could think about, you know, 4-5-1, which is a sort of a very defensive one that we could play. We've even seen teams like Liverpool experience this a lot this year, being champions in the Premier League. Teams are coming to Anfield and they are literally playing 5-5-0. They're literally going 2 banks of 5, and that's how it's working. And this is where Liverpool are struggling this season in the Premier League. The difference is in the Champions League. If you watch the Champions League, again, they got another good win. I think they won 3-0 against Marseille. The difference in the Champions League is teams are not defending in 2 banks of 5, quite simply because they want to get the points on the board, because the more points you get in the Champions League, the better chance you've got of making the knockout rounds. So teams can't afford to go, okay, we're playing Liverpool today, we're going to go 2 banks of 5 and try and get a draw, because a point's no good to them. We're in the Premier League. if you are, with no disrespect, but if you are a Leeds United, if you are maybe someone like a Brighton, a Sunderland maybe, or maybe not so much this year, but one of the lower teams who's just come back into the division and you don't want to get relegated, a point at Liverpool would be a great result. But also, in the Champions League, it's not good enough because you've only got one chance to get in there and get up. Now, what we used to do is, with the formations, we would split it into these mesocycles. So, a mesocycle, and I'm going to give the winner to this one, is, we got some good answers, and consists, okay, so, E. Johnson, a mesocycle fits within the larger train and macro cycle the entire season. So a macro, just to help everyone explain it, a macro would be the whole season, and the meso would be, I'll just do a little arrow here and we'll just give you an explainer, would be parts. So Mr. Johnson, you've done really well. First one in. We got a good answer off Khaleesi. She said 3 to 6 week training, but I was looking for more of an explanation. So I'm going to give it to Mr. Johnson. Well done. And it consists of multiple microcycles. So what we might do is here, we might go, okay, in England, their football season pretty much runs for around about 40 weeks. It's a little bit more than that because you got pre-season. So I'm going to actually change that. I'm going to say the season in the UK and in Europe goes for 44 weeks, okay? So what we need to do is we need to be smart now. We need to get our calculators out. And what we do is we look at how many different formations we've got. So we go, okay, we definitely want to practice this one. We want to practice that. 3, yeah, we're going to do that. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that one. We're going to do that one, and we're going to do that one. We're not going to do the 5-5-0. It's so negative. We're never going to coach that one. Now, we put our 44 weeks in and we divide it by 7. And for anyone who's a little bit of a math genius, they know it comes out to about 6.2. Okay, so let's say we need 6 mesocycles. So within the 6 mesocycles, okay, sorry, not 6 mesocycles, ignore me. These are 6-week blocks, okay? So for each of these, they're going to be 6 weeks in duration. Now, you would get started straight into the 4-3-3. So for 6 weeks, we know, regardless of what types of players we've got, regardless of their strengths and weaknesses, you've got to remember, youth players are going to have more weaknesses than strengths. So how do they turn those weaknesses into strengths? They practice more. What do they practice? They practice different formations. But this is where it gets really confusing as a coach, and it's really complex, and it annoys me and frustrates me when people in certain countries around the world go, yeah, but I've got an A license as a coach. I did my A license in this particular country. And I'm like, with all disrespect, like my A license in UEFA probably took best part of 5 years to complete. It took just over 250 coaching sessions. And when I think of a session, I can't just go, right, I'm going to do passing today, and I'm just going to be scratching my head and just rock up and do passing. Because some of these other countries who do A licenses and B licenses, you can get an A license, as an example, in Australia within inside 12 months. That would get absolutely laughed out the park in the UK or Europe because you just don't understand what a youth player needs. And what I'm showing you here now is £1 billion access to how to develop yourself as a player. This is the secret recipe, and I think now you're just seeing how much detail I have to go into when we're developing a player. It's not just a case of we're just going to practice 4-3-3. Why are we practicing 4-3-3? Well, the reason why we're practicing 4-3-3 for 6 weeks is because I'm working with a team of youth players up here, okay? And we're focused on processes. And when we're focused on processes and not outcomes, we want to give everyone a chance to get better. How do they get better? By practicing this, each of these formations. But how do we do that? How do we fit it into our training session? Well, quite easy. We split our whole season up, which is a macro, into a meso, which equates to 6 weeks. So I now plan for the next 6 weeks, everything must be focused on 4-3-3. And for the first 6 weeks, it's with one holding midfielder. Okay? And we have to rotate everyone around in that 6-week period to play in different positions. Now, we're not going to put the goalkeepers in as a holding mid, but if you're a holding mid, sometimes you might train as a higher up mid. If you are a left back, there's a good chance you might go and play as an attacking left wide player. Okay, but we're going to give all the players a chance to work on all of the formations. So now I know as a coach, okay, what I'm going to work on for the season. I actually know before we even kick the first ball in pre-season, based on the team I'm coaching, what we're going to work on and what nights we're going to do it. And this is why in Europe and the UK, when coaches do coaching badges, with all respect to Australia and the USA and all the other countries around the world, the best coaching badges, bar none, are UEFA. And I've got no reason to say that because I hold coaching badges in Australia. I hold coaching badges in the USA. And if I thought the USA badges were the best ones on the world, I'd say it. Because I'm here to help players. But the UK and Europe under UEFA have got the best coach education. And it's quite simple. You only get out what you put in. If you put in 100 processes a week versus 10 processes, who's going to come out the better player? The 100 processes. If you put in 100 processes as a coach versus a coach who puts in 10 processes, who's going to be the better coach over time? With 100 processes, it's exactly the same. Looking at our school platform, if you put 100 tasks in a week and you've got a friend on school who only does 10, who's going to get the $100 voucher at the end of the 7 days? The person who puts in the 100 tasks. It's that simple. Okay? So I know that went into a lot of detail. I hope you enjoyed it. And it makes you think about when you're a youth coach or you're a youth player, what is the best formation? The answer is this, Saviour. And this is what I've saved right till the end. The best formation to coach at youth level is all 7 formations in front of you. The 4-3-3. The 4-3-3 with 2 holding mids. The 4-4-2 flat across the park. The 4-4-2 with the diamonds. The 4-2-3-1 normal. The 4-2-3-1 with high, wide attacking players. Okay? And to finish off, the 4-5-1. So they're the 7 best formations that need to be practiced during your macro season. And how do you practice them? You put them into meso cycles, which is 6 weeks. So again, as ever, Xavier, an absolutely fantastic question. I absolutely love my community and you guys, some of the questions that you drop in here. Also, as ever, I have saved all of these screenshots for you as well, and I will drop all of these into the chat in a little bit as well. Also, I haven't posted Thursday's weekly call yet. I will drop that in today, and I will drop in today's call as well, so you can have lots of stuff on the community to look at, watch and read. I am now going to drop back into the live screen. I'm going to just have a little look at what we've got in questions and answers, but before we do that, I'm going to go to a very quick drinks break. We've still got about 10-12 minutes to go, so plenty of time to drop in your questions. Whilst I'm on a quick drinks break and getting a glass of water, drop in your questions, like, comment, add in a community post, and remember, if you get 100 activities every day for 7 days in a row starting today, you'll get a $100 voucher. Now, everyone's already asked me questions. Is it just one winner? No. If 100 people do it, I'm going to give away 100 $100 vouchers on GOATs. So if you're a player on school and you want to get $100, all you've got to do is log 100 activities a day for 7 days. Next Saturday, I will check on the list. On that Sunday morning, I'll announce all the winners and you'll get your vouchers. It's that simple. All right, guys, we'll be back in 1 minute. We'll look forward to seeing you soon.
Don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Ghost Grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. These stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable, definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch the goat sleeves now. They don't slip, they don't slide. Nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time, and these are featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes end.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around the shin.
No distractions, no readjusting, just focus on the match. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material is soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel.
Everyone, big thank you for joining us back. So hopefully you got a lot out of those two. Well, it was one question from Xavier and we broke it down into two parts. Now, very quickly, there was one other one that I didn't cover yet from Khaleesi. I'm going to just drop back in and have a little look at that one. I'm just going to see if we can answer that one pretty quickly or we need to push it to next Tuesday's session. Let me have a little look. Let's see if I can find... Oh, where's it gone? There we go, today's meeting. You guys are dropping stuff into the community. That's good to see. How do you position yourself to always be a passing option under pressure? Okay, this is a good question. It's probably one that I can answer pretty quickly as well. I've done a lot of this and I've covered a lot of this over the past couple of weeks. Now, if you were lucky enough to win any vouchers today as well, make sure you send me a DM. And I'll get that to you within the next 2 to 3 days, guys, once I can drive out those codes from Goats to send to you. Now, when we think about position yourself to always be a passing option under pressure. So what we're going to talk about here is if you're under pressure, that means you've got players close to you. So the best thing you can work on to position yourself is, the first thing I would say is, when you're on your school community and you go in classroom, and you go to your football objectives, the one that's going to really help with this one is number 3. Movement, finding and creating space. So this is all about finding space in between the lines, and we did cover this off last Saturday. So if you want to watch last Saturday's call back, this would be a great thing for you to do. Okay, so it's going to enable you to have a little watch and see the whole session that I've done. But to be able to move, find and create space is being clever. It's more about you sitting on the shoulders of the opposition players rather than you being in front of the opposition players. So if we're talking about you being under pressure, that means your team's in possession or you might be in possession. You need to make sure you movement, finding and creating space. How do you get better at that? Quite simply, follow it on your objectives. If you're on securing the ball or you're on scanning at the moment and you're finding that you're getting a bit fed up with it or you're struggling to get to 85%, pause it and jump onto objective number 3. Or if you've already done objective number 3 but you only got to 60% or you did do 85%, reset yourself the challenge up and try and get to 90%. And movement, finding and creating space is going to be one of your best objectives to allow you to basically answer that question that we got in from Khaleesi, which was a great one. So just to finalise that one and finish that one off a little bit in relation to being a passing option under pressure. It's all about your position before you get ready to receive the ball. So you don't necessarily, and this is where everyone goes wrong with it in Australia. I see coaches coaching players go, you need to find space. You need to get in a space to receive the ball. No, you don't. Wrong answer. Completely wrong, okay? You want your teammate to recognise a space that they see and know you as a player well enough that once they trigger that pass, they're going to hit that ball into space, and they know you're going to read that pass and you're then going to make the move into that pass. That's why on that objectives, it's called about creating movement and then finding space. So how do you create? You create first by being on the shoulders or the backs of opposing players, okay? Then you make your move, and your move might be a clever move. We spoke about this last week, Khaleesi. The clever move might be a 2-meter run back towards your goal, which sounds counterintuitive. But that movement is going to draw out that player with you. And then the final part is finding that space. You've now created that space because you have actually moved that player with you. And if that player doesn't come with you, then you don't need to try and run into that space that hasn't created, because you've then run into a space, the player's not followed you, and the teammate's going to see you. So that is a great question, and hopefully that answered that one for you, Khaleesi. Now we are nearly finished. I am just going to drop in and just have a little look at these last couple of questions that we've got, and I'll just see if there's anything else I need to mention or speak about. Oh, sorry, Jake, I've just seen that you had issues listening, but you managed to sort that. That's good. So some great answers and questions in there. Intermediate training blocks. Thanks, Ray. So informative. I love it. Some good feedback again, guys. So, guys, we are nearly done. We've got a couple of minutes to go. So just a couple of reminders to recap. 2 great questions as ever from Khaleesi and Xavier. Hopefully you like them. I am going to post in Thursday's call. I haven't done that yet. I'll drop that in today. I'll drop this call in. Also, I'm going to be dropping in the video about the competition which starts today. Remember, you need to log 100 activities or more a day for 7 days, and you win a $100 voucher for GOATS. And that's for everyone who does it. So it's not the one who records the highest each day, okay? If you do 100 activities or more for 7 days in a row, you will win a $100 voucher. Now, I'll give you a quick example of how to find it again if you're not sure how to do it. So if I just screen control in here, and then if I just go in here, and what I will do is I'm gonna pick on someone. I'm just gonna have a look, because I've got a sneaky feeling that this particular player will already have. So if we go for the last 7 days, Khaleesi got 426, tick. 318, tick. 375, tick. 481. 409. Oh, only 33 for today. But today's not over. So as long as she gets over 100, that would mean if the competition started last Saturday, Khaleesi would win a $100 voucher. So starting from today, Saturday the 24th of January, okay, for 7 days. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is your last day. I'll announce all the winners on next Saturday's call, okay? If you believe you are a winner, all you need to do is comment in the post that I log today, next week, next Saturday. I'd say, I'm a winner, Ray, check my scores. I can come in and check, and I'll know if you've done 100 activities or more. And look at this, some of these numbers that Khaleesi is logging. She's like a Coach Ray's level for logging. She's a level 8, okay? If you come into me and look at my profile, I'm a level 8 as well. And I'm the same. 413, 357, 394, 526. Beat that one, Khaleesi. All right? So they're the levels that me and Khaleesi go to, and there's no surprises why. When we look at the leaderboard, let's have a quick look at the leaderboard. 7-day overall, Khaleesi. 30-day, Khaleesi. All-time, Khaleesi. Khaleesi, you're lucky that I'm not in these leaderboard options, because I think me and you would be going level and level. So a big thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And again, I will drop in all of those other bits of information in the next couple of minutes. I'm going to be online for another hour while I just upload everything for you guys. So then you can enjoy your weekends, guys. I hope wherever you are in the world, if you're in the US, Canada, Australia, the UK, Europe, have a great weekend. If you're playing this weekend, stay safe. And remember, if you're a youth team player or an academy player, you need to focus on processes, not outcomes, okay? The senior guys, my advice would be still focus on processes than outcomes, and you're going to be winning and you are going to be absolutely flying. So that's me. Over and out from Brisbane in Australia. I love yous and leave yous. I'll leave you with this ad and I'll see yous all tomorrow on the podcast Sunday.
You don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats Grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
We